So as we can see, world politics, we are frightened with hell. But these solutions, these initiatives, they're offering hope. I don't know what to say, Mark, given this role to conclude the whole forum and to just give some closing remarks. I was basically impressed by what was said in this room in the past few days. I saw very brave statements, very, very brave leaders, and we all agreed on most of the things that was said, but even if we don't agree, we can protect our right to agree to disagree. Or as Voltaire said, maybe I won't agree with you, but I will fight to death for your right to speak what you think. And I strongly believe in that. Of course, it's more than obvious that we're living in times of uncertainty and so uncertain alternatives, and we're frequently listening to this word transition. But as Zygmunt Bauman was said, in order to have a transition, you need to know your point A and point B. From where are you going towards what are you going? And sometimes, we're witnessing that we know from what we're running from, but we don't know towards what we are going and running to. Although, in the past few days, we saw an initiative that basically showed us a point B towards what we can move. But Bauman is going even further. He said, although if we sometimes know our point B, the challenge is that we're having this crisis of ages. It's not what should be done, but who should do that? And for that, we need strong leaders. We need powerful leaders. We need leaders that will be led by courage and wisdom and these virtues that we're frequently mentioning. And there's one idea that was popularized by concept that was popularized by Michael Hoff that said, and I think it was mentioned here that hard times create strong men, and strong men create good times, and good times create weak men, and weak men create, again, hard times. And our history and this cyclicity that was also mentioned somehow is showing us that we are probably now in this era of hard times that were created by weak men, but this is also an opportunity and a chance for good leaders, brave leaders to come to the surface. And because we're repeating our mistakes, as Hegel said, the only thing that we learn from history, that we learn nothing from history. And I believe this is the time that we can start to learn from our mistakes and to embrace all that was said here, from Balkan to Caucasus to Middle East, all this negative experience, and not for our generation, not to repeat and to make the same mistakes from the past. Because what is going on, we heard, we're going through a process of democratic recession. We're witnessing thoughts like Michels warned us 100 years ago that democracy will end up as oligarchies. Unfortunately, we're witnessing this. Many democracies are turning themselves into oligarchies, and also the trend that many countries in the last decades are rapidly moving towards our authoritarianism, maybe following this third wave of democratic, of reverse wave of democracy that was mentioned by Huntington himself. And we are following processes of dissovereignty, undermining of the Westphalian principles of sovereignty, autonomy, territory. We are witnessing times of morbidity, as was mentioned by Gramsci when he said, when the old world is dying and the new world struggles to be born in time of morbidity. And as Zizek later said, the monsters. And we are having problems now with these monsters in this vacuum, in this so-called interregnum. And those morbidities, those monsters are manifesting differently, epistemologically, politically, economically, and etc. And at the end, I would like just to make one short example from one of my favorite books. Probably some of you have read from Jean-Paul Sartre, Nausea. And there is one segment of that book that is very important, stayed with me long. There is the main protagonist of the book, that is Marquise Roblon, who is traveling and doing investigation regarding the attempt of assassination of the Pope. And he's attending this strange situation in this small town. There are priests that surrounded one person who was dying. He was a pantheist, and he was refusing to accept Christianity as his religion. And the priest wanted to baptize him so he can leave this world as a proper Christian. And this person was refusing this because he was close with the philosophy of Diderot and etc. And this Marquis said, okay, let me spend some time with him. And the priest said, okay, be our guest. The Marquis went in his room at 3 o'clock, at 5. They baptized him. He accepted the Christianity as his religion. At 9, he died as a proper Christian. And then, the priests came to the Marquis. They surrounded him. Said, Marquis Roblon, you have such a powerful force, to convince people. How did you achieve that? And the Marquis said, I did not convince him in anything. I just frightened him with hell. So as we can see, world politics, we are frightened with hell. But these solutions, these initiatives, they're offering hope, because there are two forces that can mobilize people, fear and hope. Unfortunately, we're lacking hope, but I believe that initiatives like this, programs like this, leaders like this in this room can offer like hope, and especially to my generation, to the young people that desperately need hope. And through hope, through functional states, functional institutions, this is the only way how we can achieve peace. And I'm so glad that you accepted the invitation of the Cultural Diplomacy Institute, and I believe that we have opportunity to continue with these discussions in the next forum of cultural diplomacy in Skopje in Macedonia, that you're all invited. Thank you for your interventions. Thank you for everything that you contributed to this forum, and it was my great pleasure to be part of it. Thank you so much.